So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a look at the new Palfinger crane. What do you call it? The 8600?
It's the 8600 Tech.
Now, what does tech stand for?
Technology. It's a technology carrier for a lot of new innovations that very new to the service crane industry. Been used for quite a few years on our knuckle boom product that we talked about.
Okay.
So it's not like we're inventing something that hasn't been proven out. We're taking proven technology and bringing it to a new application.
So as I understand this, what you've managed to do is you've managed to take a 19.5 GVW, a class 5 truck, and you've made it possible to mount an 8,600 pound maximum capacity crane. That's kind of unusual. That's like one of best in class, isn't it?
It's going to be right up there with a couple of the key competitors. The biggest difference is the foot-pound rating.
Foot-pounds has to do with the amount of weight based on a calculation of boom capacity and body capacity, right?
And reach.
And so the higher that number is, so when you see a body that's rated at 58,000 foot-pounds of torque, you can easily compare that to a body that's rated at 48,000 foot-pounds of torque, and you have a stronger body.
Correct.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yep, and so when we set out to design this crane, we had a number in mind.
Okay.
As far as foot-pound rating and winch capacity.
Okay.
Our engineers set to work, said, let's figure out what we can do and do it different.
Okay.
So some of what you'll see in the industry is we'll give you 30 seconds of extra lift capacity.
30 seconds.
Pick a number. Might be 15,
Yeah.
might be 30.
I got you.
Just to finish that last little bit of the pick.
I got you.
Right? What we did, we said, nope, we're going to set that bar higher, and you don't need to slow things down. You don't need to derate things in certain, have separate modes.
So here's what we do. Our members already are familiar with cranes, okay?
Absolutely.
One crane, they've seen them all. But what I noticed when I walked this truck is I said, you guys made some serious changes. Like one of the things I noticed when I looked at it is that you guys have completely solved this water intrusion issue, right?
Absolutely.
Tell me about how you accomplished that.
So traditionally what you'll see, and everybody's going to be familiar with it, is a standard 4-bolt adapter. So we take the slewing mechanism and bolt that to a big thick steel plate.
Okay.
Bolt that to the top of the body, and then run all your hydraulics up through the middle.
And that's the traditional method. That's why we normally on the crane, we see a bunch of hydraulic, hydraulic lines that are running, and I noticed that this is a really clean setup.
So what we've done is we've said, okay, we do cranes and bodies.
Okay.
We don't need that interface adapter plate all the time, especially if it's going to go on our product.
Okay.
So we got rid of that big, thick, heavy plate, dropped the crane straight down on top of the body, and put a hydraulic rotary union and electric slip ring in there. So now the hydraulics coming up in the crane compartment stick into that rotary union.
Wait. I got a question, man. Are you going to try and tell me that you guys have managed to put continuous rotation?
That's exactly what we
Get out of town, man. You got continuous rotation, standard?
Standard, which also allows us to fully seal the top of that crane box. So rain, snow, nothing's dripping down into your tool.
Dude, you're killing me. That's going to be a game changer, man. Now, what else did you do? You did some stuff with your Outriggers too, didn't you?
We did. We just optimized them for this size package. In the past, in order to get, speed to market, commonality within our manufacturing and stuff, we decided let's just take the ones that we know work on the bigger truck and put them on the smaller truck.
Okay.
Makes sense from a commonality, but it's not weight optimized. It's not optimized for the foot-pound rating. These are.
So let me translate that for my guys. What you're saying is you re-engineered the whole truck. So rather than leave a less expensive alternative, you re-engineered this and reduced the weight,
Bingo.
Which increased the payload.
Yep.
Damn, boy, you getting it. Okay, what else did you do?
Well, so let's stick with the Outriggers for a second.
Okay.
Right. Safety. We want to be safe while we're working.
Okay.
We're going to have an option to add sensors to tell you fully in, like fully home, fully up, so you don't accidentally drive away with an Outrigger dragging on the ground.
Now, I can see where that's a benefit, but there's some guys that are out there complaining sometimes about that.
The thing we're not going to do with this is ever derate you or stop you from getting your job done. So as an example, you don't deploy your Outrigger because you're working straight off the back of the truck.
Right.
We're just going to warn you, hey, friendly reminder, you didn't deploy your Outrigger. You say, I know, I made that choice because of where I'm actually making my pick, and you go on with your day.
That is clever. I mean, every manufacturer these days is focusing on safety, and that's a really good approach. Now, I got another question for you. When you re-engineered the crane, you did something with your winch, right?
We did.
Tell me what you did with the winch, because
So
that's different.
It's different on this size of our hydraulic crane.
Okay.
So there's two ways to put a winch on a crane. You can either mount it on the boom,
Right.
or you can mount it on the what we would call the column. Some people call it the turret, but we decided with this new design, we're going to take the time and put that crane or that winch up on the actual crane boom itself. So if you look at where it's mounted, it's not on the column, it moves with the boom.
So let's translate that to you guys. Okay. So when you guys are operating a crane, sometimes you forget when you're with the elevator or when we're booming down that we have to let line out. So if the winch is mounted on a fixed pedestal, we're going to have to let line out. If we don't, we have the potential to two block it, and if the two block isn't working, it could explode and all kinds of bad things.
Rip your winch line.
You can winch it apart. So by having it on a fixed position, that's a real big benefit. But you guys did one other thing. Did you manage to make it so it doesn't spool? That it's got an automatic tensioner?
It has an automatic tensioner, and the other thing I want to point out is the way that we prevent that two block, the overloading due to two blocking. So the anti-two block.
Right.
Traditionally, what you'll see is I'll call it a mechanism at the end of the boom tip.
Sure.
Springs, levers, a sensor. That's all hanging out there, and what that's meant to do is prevent your load block from coming up and contacting the boom tip.
So how did you solve that problem?
We took all that off the end of the boom tip, and we put that into the actual winch mount, an intelligent winch console.
Okay.
So as you load that winch, it actually slides against a set of springs, and when you get to the end of those springs, that's when you hit your limit. So it's the same concept as a limit switch or whatever you want to call it out at the boom tip, but we put it back here where it's protected. It's not, you're not going to hit it.
So where I can see that's a benefit is if we're using the sled rails with a push button, there's an opportunity for corrosion. There's an opportunity for debris to get in there.
Not to mention you need a cord reel. You absolutely
and you have to have a cord reel, and that's another potential area of failure, right?
Correct.
You're getting it.
Yeah,
y'all are doing it.
I do want to point out, this is not new.
Okay.
We do this on our smaller cranes.
Okay.
This is the first time we've taken it and done it on our large hydraulic crane because we took the winch from the column up to the boom.
You know what? I'm impressed because there's a lot of cool things, and I love everybody's trucks, man. Yep. I've been going through this thing for 3 days, checking out everybody's product, and what I wanted to spend some time here because I think you guys did an outstanding job of introducing this product because there's practical solutions here. Like, for example, one of the things I love is you put this light on the outside of the body. How clever is that? I mean, that is fantastic.
It was the number one piece of feedback we heard from end users.
I mean, because
they get a truck, and we provide lights, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But you go out in the field and you actually look, they're going and they're buying additional LED strip, or not strip lights, but the long floodlights, and strapping them everywhere they can because when it's dark out, it's dark.
I mean, check this out. Look at how nice this is. So now when we slide a compartment out, not only do I have this LED light mounted on the side pack top, but I've got lights to illuminate my area of work. That's just fantastic. Yep. That's really clever. Now, I noticed that you've gone with more of a universal mounting system, right?
We did. Yep. Our traditional system was simple crossbars that you would mount a plate to. A lot of feedback from the people upfitting the trucks, and then the end user when they receive it, they want to add something, they want to slide something, move something.
Sure.
They were fixed. Now it's easy to move, it's easy to configure the way you want, and if you ever have to, you're going to add a job box up there or something, you can just buy a simple bracket from us or make a bracket yourself, bolt it right to the universal mount wherever you want it, and go.
I like it. Now, one of the things that I think that separates you from some of the other competition is that you guys have a process of painting and putting your body together that makes you a little unique. How do you do that?
It's actually a full electro e-coat system.
Okay.
It's 12-stage dip process in our factory in Council Bluffs. So when we get done welding the body together, it gets picked up by a huge gantry, slides over, starts going through rinse tanks, starts going through different steps of the process.
Okay.
When it comes out, we're actually chemically bonding to the steel, but more importantly, If you look up inside here, nooks and crannies, if all you do is prime and top coat, you're not getting any coverage between surfaces, between layers. When you dip something and e-coat it, you get that liquid gets in between there and protects it, whether or not you can get top coat on it. So that's the important part.
That's a really important feature. So not only do you have a very high quality paint finish, but because you've treated the metal underneath it, you're less likely to get corrosion.
Absolutely.
But nothing's perfect. So what's the warranty, bro?
We're going to have to refilm that one because I don't have that off the top
Okay, no worries. I actually looked it up. I think you guys have one of the better warranties in the industry.
We pride ourselves on best-in-class warranty.
Okay, so here's the deal. You did something else different. So you've incorporated this work deck bumper, but you've given the operator an opportunity to take pry bars and longer pieces of apparatus and put it here without a lot of
without having to bend over and slide in there and grab stuff. And the other thing we've seen a lot of end users doing is they put a bunch of their rigging, chains and stuff back here. Again, you could drop them in the bottom of a compartment and fish them out later, but with this, it's easy to get to. It's right there.
Now, what material are you using for the polyurea? Like, do you have a specific brand, or is it your brand, or what are you using? This and that.
It's Ultimate Linings.
Ultimate Linings. Okay.
I'll let you guys go out and research the difference between a Line-X and an Ultimate Linings, but it's basically Line-X.
Okay, so let's summarize what we've got so far. We've got a high quality paint finish. We've got pre-treated metal with the zinc phosphate, so we get electrostatic binding of the paint. We have great adhesion, good quality control. Speaking of quality control, how many steps of inspection does a typical body go through?
Holy cow, that's a great question. It's going to be probably close to a dozen.
Okay.
So, and you think about how these are built. Starts with just flat steel, laser cut, form it, get it all shaped up, squared up, start welding. That's inspected all the way through that. And when I say 12 steps of inspection, that's not just 12 check marks.
Right.
That's 2 pages of, did you look at this? Did you look at that? Every step of the way. The one place where we don't have, I'll say, quality inspectors would be the e-coat process, because it's all completely automated.
Okay.
Our process is a little bit different than what you might find on YouTube, or if you Google e-coat. A lot of systems, what you'll see is just like a continuous rail system in and out.
Right.
Everything gets the same amount of time, whether it's a small Palpro, not for us, but a small 20,000 pound box or a big 86,000 pound box.
Right.
It's just going to go, the 20,000 pound is going to get probably more than it needs, and the 86 is going to get less.
So it's ideally suited for that particular body.
When the forklift operator loads the product onto the gantry, they walk over, tell the system, what did I just load? The gantry comes over, grabs it, and for every stage, it knows exactly how long to leave it in that tank.
Okay, I can see that. So what you've gotten is a couple other cool things that you guys out there might appreciate. We've got a grab handle that's accessible, so we can meet that 3-point touch system to get in and out. We've got an option for E-Track inside the cargo area. We've got steps that fold down, so that's kind of cool. Instead of that that rubber one, I call it the shin killer.
Yep.
Okay. Here's another thing that I noticed that I thought was really cool, is that you guys ran some E-Track in here, so it gives a versatile mounting place for all types of other devices without drilling holes. So I can put my J-hooks here. I've got my master locking system. Now, you partnered up with C-Tech, right?
Yep.
For your drawers?
We do have a partnership with C-Tech.
So C-Tech is a great manufacturer. They do a good job on drawers. It's a locking mechanism. They're smooth, they're aluminum, they're lighter weight. And then we got this double opening compartment. And what they did, is I understand it, is you reconfigured this a little bit so that you could accommodate a wider drawer pack.
Correct.
Is that right?
That was another big piece of feedback with our current door sizing, was that you couldn't get your longer pry bars, your longer tools, your bigger wrenches. You'd have to lay everything in kitty corner.
Right.
Our goal with this, we told the engineers, we will fit a 30-inch wide drawer unit into that compartment without scratching the sides of it to get it in.
Can I assume then that you're going to go ahead and offer a bolt bin option if the customer wants a bolt bin?
Anything.
Whatever the customer wants. Okay.
Adjustable shelves,
All
bolt
right.
bins, drawer units.
Who are you partnered with on your compressors?
VMAC.
So you're doing the VMAC Pred 40 hydraulic screw compressor.
Got it.
So in summary, what you've got here is a completely re-engineered Class 5 body.
You got it.
You got taller side packs,
52-inch standard.
52 inch as opposed to the 44.
Correct.
So you've got more storage capacity. You've got a universal mounting system. Now, am I understanding correctly? You've got aluminum doors?
We do have aluminum doors.
So that's another benefit. So what you've done is you've analyzed the competition and you've come to market with a winner. I mean, potentially. So there's really no reason why somebody might not want to consider a Palfinger body in the future, right?
100%. And we'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, boy, you're doing all right. I like what you guys do. So you guys, thanks. I'm going to continue to visit more and more booths here at NTEA. I want to thank you for your time. I really appreciate you. And give Palfinger a shout, man. These guys are pretty good. I like them.
We'd love to hear from you.
All right.
One thing I want to add,
Yeah,
if you don't mind.
sure. Go ahead.
We, Palfinger, corporate-wide, have what we call our operators pool.
Operators, what is it called?
It's our operators pool.
Okay.
So this is, call it a way to connect direct with us. If you're an end user, not just of our PalPro product, but a knuckle boom, one of our aerial trucks, whatever it might be,
Okay.
we would love to get your feedback directly. Not that we don't love our partners, our distributors, our upfitters,
Right.
but hearing straight from the person using the product is pretty beneficial. So you can go on our website, check it out, find a link to get in there, simple contact information, and then, not super frequently, but we might reach out and say, hey, what do you think? What can we do better? Help us improve, which is going to help you guys get your job done.
So you hear that, guys? If you're using a Palfinger product, they've got an app, they got a website that they want you to go to. What's the URL? How do they get there?
I would simply just jump on Google, put in Palfinger operator feedback group, and
Okay.
that'll take you right there.
There you go. Operator feedback, and look in Palfinger. Give them some feedback, because the only way that any manufacturer can improve their product is to hear from you guys.
Yeah, we'd
Hey.
love to hear from you.
Thanks. KJ out. Appreciate you listening. See ya.